Hello, second graders. Before I begin our read aloud today, I want to wish a happy birthday today to Sophia. Her picture's up here. It's Sophia Hunter, of course. So happy birthday, Sophia. I hope that you have a great day. I know the weather's kind of rainy today, but hopefully you have a really fun birthday and just have a great day. All right, so our chapter that we're reading today is called Journey to Dream Country. This is actually a bit of a long chapter, so I decided to just read half of it today. I don't want the video to go on too long, so I'll read half of it today, and then I will do the other half. Even though tomorrow isn't, a school day, it's Good Friday, I might still just read the second half tomorrow and post that. All right, so this chapter is called Journey to Dream Country. The chapter yesterday was the really funny one about Frobscuttle and Whizpoppers. After the mad Frobscuttle party was over, Sophie settled herself again on top of the enormous table. "You is feeling better now?" asked the big friendly giant. "Much better, thank you," Sophie said. "Whenever I is feeling a bit scratty," the BFG said, "a few gollops of Frobscuttle is always making me hopscotchy again." "I must say it's quite an experience," Sophie said. "It's a rat twizzler, the BFG said. "It's gloriumptious." He turned away and strode across the cave and picked up his dream-catching net. "I is galloping off now," he said, "to catch some more wopsy-whiffling dreams for my collection. I is doing this every day without missing. Is you wishing to come with me?" Not me, thank you very much," Sophie said. "Not with those other giants lurking around outside." "I is snuggling you very cozy into the pocket of my waistcoat," the BFG said. "Then no one is seeing you." Before Sophie could protest, he had picked her up off the table and popped her into his waistcoat pocket. There was plenty of room in there. "Is you wishing for a little hole to peep out of?" he asked her. "There's one here already," she said. She had found a small hole in the pocket, and when she put one eye close to it, she could see out very well indeed. She watched the BFG as he bent down and filled his suitcase with empty glass jars. He closed the lid, picked up the suitcase in one hand, took the pole with the net on the end in the other hand, and marched toward the entrance of the cave. As soon as he was outside, the BFG set off across the great, hot, yellow wasteland where the blue rocks lay and the dead trees stood and where all the giants were skulking about. So the BFG is going out. He's heading to Dream Country to get some new dreams for his jars, and Sophie is inside his pocket. She, of course, can't be seen, otherwise those other giants would eat her. Sophie, squatting low on her heels in the pocket of the leather waistcoat, had one eye glued to the little hole. She saw the group of enormous giants about 300 yards ahead. "Hold your breaths," the BFG whispered down to her. "Cross your little figglers, here we go. We is going right past all these giants. Is you seeing that whopping great one, the one nearest to us?" "I see him," Sophie whispered back, quivering. "That is the horriblest of them all, and the biggest of them all. He is called the flesh lump-eating giant." "I don't want to hear about him," Sophie said. "He is 54 feet high," the BFG said softly as he jogged along, "and he is swallowing human beings like they is sugar lumps, 2 or 3 at a time." "You're making me nervous," Sophie said. "I is nervous myself," the BFG whispered. "I always gets as jumpsy as a jog hopper when the flesh lump eater giant is around." "Keep away from him," Sophie pleaded. "Not possible," the BFG answered. "He is galloping easily 2 times as quicksy as me." "Shall we turn back?" Sophie said. "Turning back is worse," the BFG said. "If they is seeing me running away, they is all giving chase and throwing rocks." "They would never eat you, though, would they?" Sophie asked. "Giants is never guzzling other giants," the BFG said. "They is fighting and squarreling a lot with each other, but never guzzling. Human beings is more tasty to them." The giants had already spotted the BFG, and all heads were turned, watching him as he jogged forward. He was aiming to pass well to the right of the group. So all of those big giants are all just kind of sitting around, and the BFG is trying to kind of go around to the side to just not have any contact with them. Through her little peephole, Sophie saw the flesh lump eating giant moving over to intercept them. He didn't hurry. He just lopped over casually to a point where the BFG would have to pass. The others lopped after him. Sophie counted 9 of them all together, and she recognized the blood bottler in the middle of them. They were bored. They had nothing to do until nightfall. They were all air of menace. There was an air of menace about them as they looped slowly across the plain with long, lolloping strides, heading for the BFG. "Here comes the runty one," boomed the flesh lump eater, and of course the runty one is the BFG. He's smaller than the rest. "Ho, ho there, runty one. Where is you splash winkling again in such a hefty hurry?" He shot out an enormous arm and grabbed the BFG by the hair. Ooh. The BFG didn't struggle. He simply stopped and stood quite still and said, "Please be so kind as to letting go of my hair, flesh lump eater." The flesh lump eater released him and stepped back a pace. The other giants stood around, waiting for the fun to start. "Now then, you little crab squiffler," boomed the flesh lump eater. "We is all of us wanting to know where you is galloping off to every day in the daytime. Nobody ought to be galloping off to anywhere until it is dark. The human beings could easily be spotting you and starting a giant hunt, and we is not wanting that to happen, is we not?" "We is not," shouted the other giants. "Go back to your cave, runty one." "I is not galloping to any human being country," the BFG said. "I is going to other places." "I is thinking," said the flesh lump eater, "that you is catching human beings and keeping them as pets." So they think he's like catching human beings and keeping them at his cave, which he kind of is with Sophie. He didn't mean to take her, but he said he had to since she had seen him. Okay. "Right you is," cried the blood bottler. "Now I is hearing them chittering away to just now I is hearing him chittering away to one of them in his cave." "You is welcome to go and search the cave from frack to bunt," the BFG answered. "You can go looking into every crook and nanny. There is no human beans or stringy beans or runner beans or jelly beans or any other beans in there." And of course, he's saying, go search the cave, go look, because Sophie's right in his pocket. So he knows she's with him. Sophie crouched still as a mouse inside the BFG's pocket. She hardly dared to breathe. She was terrified she might sneeze. The slightest sound or movement would give her away. Through the tiny peephole, she watched the giants clustering around the poor BFG. How revolting they were! All of them had piggy little eyes and enormous mouths with thick sausage lips. When the flesh lump eater was speaking, she got a glimpse of his tongue. It was jet black, like a slab of black steak. Every one of them was more than twice as tall as the BFG. Suddenly, the flesh lump eater shot out 2 enormous hands and grabbed the BFG around the waist. He tossed him high in the air and shouted, "Catch him, man-hugger!" So the man-hugger is the name of one of the other giants. The man-hugger caught him. The other giants spread out quickly in a large circle, each giant about 20 yards from his neighbor, preparing for the game they were going to play. Now the man-hugger threw the BFG high and far, shouting, "Catch him, Bone Cruncher!" The Bone Cruncher ran forward and caught the tumbling BFG and immediately swung him up again. "Catch him, Child Chewer!" he shouted. And so it went on. The giants were playing ball with the BFG, vying with each other to see who would throw him the highest. Sophie dug her nails, remember Sophie's in his pocket this whole time. Sophie dug her nails into the sides of the pocket, trying to prevent herself from tumbling out when she was upside down. She felt as though she were in a barrel going over Niagara Falls. And all the time, there was the fearful danger that one of the giants would fail to catch the BFG and he would go crashing to the ground. "Catch him, Meat Dripper! Catch him, Gizzard Gulper! Catch him, Maid Masher! Catch him, Blood Bottler! Catch him! Catch him! Catch him!" So all of the big giants are in a circle, just tossing him back and forth as if he's like a ball or something. In the end, they got bored with this game. They dumped the poor BFG to the ground. He was dazed and shattered. They gave him a few kicks and shouted, "Run, you little runt! Let's see how fast you is galloping." The BFG ran. What else could he do? The giants picked up rocks. Oh, this is terrible. The giants picked up rocks and hurled them after him. He managed to dodge them. Ready, little runt, they shouted. Troggy, little twit. Shrivelly, little shrimp. Mucky, little guy. Squaggly, little squib. Grabby, little grub. At last, the BFG got clear of them all, and in another couple minutes, the pack of giants was out of sight over the horizon. Sophie popped her head up from the pocket. I didn't like that, she said. So that's not the end of the chapter. That's about halfway through. It's a long chapter. I do have a picture to show you. That is the picture of the BFG up in the air, and then all of the giants below just kind of tossing him around. So as you can see, he's not treated at all very well by the other giants. They think of him as different from them because he's not, as big as them. He doesn't eat human beings every night like they do. He's a little bit smaller. He's a little bit more gentle. So they don't treat him very good at all. And the BFG, I think, seems like tries to avoid them as much as possible, which is sad. So, all right. So I will read the second half tomorrow, and I'll, of course, post that on Seesaw as well. All right, so happy birthday again to Sophia. I wish I had a more cheerful, happy chapter to read today on your birthday. I know that one, wasn't as nice. But I hope you have a great day, and I hope all of you guys have a great rest of your day.